Hello and welcome to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Loraine Matthews, who is a stress management coach, and she's also working on 2 books. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
Welcome back, because you came here last week. Can you tell us a bit about the books that you've been working on?
My first book was called Stop Running, Start Living Now, and that was actually done just after my mum. It all came about actually when mum died, and that was back in 1996. And when I was doing the eulogy for her, had this real clear message about writing a book on living in the moment. And at the time I thought, oh yeah, that's a piece of cake, I can do it. Didn't realize I was so full in my ego. But to be at peace and to live in the moment, I realized I needed to be at peace, which meant forgiving myself and also forgiving other people around me. And also asking, obviously, forgiveness of others whom I may have hurt. And that's how... So it took up time to write that, and I did self-publish it back in 2001, and I put it back in the shelf because I wanted... What was really important for me was to walk my talk. At the time I wrote it, it was a great idea. It has helped quite a lot of people. But I felt there was quite a lot of things in there that I needed to be really strong about and know that I was able to walk it. And I wanted to be able to know I was at peace with myself, regardless of what situations presented. So,
and how do you reach that?
Was again just being aware of when I'm out of center, being aware of the triggers and recognizing I have a choice. I can choose to come from a loving space, or I can choose to come out of fear. And so when I choose to come out of a loving space, then each day, each moment, I can choose differently, and I can really choose to see love's presence. And one of the things that really helps me a lot is recognizing, what if this was the last day I had to live on this planet? How would I want to leave it? And that really helps me to come back and be at peace and recognize I have the power within me to change my thoughts, to change my thinking. And I can choose to come from a loving space as against a place of judgment. And sometimes I do that very well too. But being able to shift from that place of judgment to go, hang on a second, I can choose to do this differently. And sometimes it's challenging.
Would you say that's something under the banner? You know how we're all given free will? So we are given the free will to choose to love or to hate.
Yes.
It's our choice. God hasn't told us. He's told us what He wants us to do. In the Bible, He's told us that. But it's up to us to love, or to be happy, even to choose to be happy or to be miserable. You know, it's a choice in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And each moment we can choose how we want that moment to be. Because this present moment is how our future is. So when we spend time in focusing on what's not working, then we'll create more of that. Whereas when we can choose and say, hang on a second, I can shift right here, right now, how I perceive things to be, how I want things to be. Things change. And the main thing is we cannot change another person. And I love what Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. And quite often, like, clients come to me and they think, oh, my husband's like this or my wife's like this. And I say, that's great. But the thing is, you're here for you, because we cannot change somebody else. But I said, when you change, miracles happen. And I remember my client saying, are you serious about that? I said, absolutely. And I guarantee you that. I say, because when we choose to look at life differently and we take steps to take care of ourselves and look at what is it within us that we don't like, what is it that we're angry about, what is it that we're blaming others. And when we can take responsibility and say, can't change them, but I can change myself. I can change how I act, how I react to the situation. So when we come from that place, then life becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
And the miracles that have happened, and I one particular client when I can look at where she said, oh, do you know, we haven't been on a holiday, my whole body is aching, I have all this anger around my mum and dad, and you know, things are not going well, and we said, okay, let's start with you, and we started the process, and again, one at a time, we just kept looking at one little area at a time.
Yeah.
And as we started to do that, she noticed the changes. And one of the things she says, do you know, it's really funny, my husband says I'm easy to be around now. She says that she wasn't as, her husband noticed that she wasn't as grumpy. She was more at ease.
And what did she do that was different?
She was just happier in herself.
Yeah.
She was actually willing to let go of wanting him to act and be in a certain way.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she started taking responsibility and going, how can I do this differently?
Yeah.
So there were simple little steps and that she was putting into place. And also the part of the gratitude journal.
Yeah.
Focusing on the good things that was in the marriage.
Yeah.
Rather than complaining on what wasn't there.
So instead of complaining about what wasn't working, think about what is working.
What is working. Focus on what is working. Yeah. And as we focus on what is working, it just increases. And miracles were happening. And she was like, wow, her health was getting better. Like she was in pain. Her body started to, you know, she went back to a doctor 3 months later and the doctor couldn't recognize her. He says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Because her attitude shifted. Yeah. She wasn't looking down and going, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. She started to look up and going, wow, I'm alive. You know, I'm grateful. I have my eyes, I have my ears, I have simple things.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, we have to go to a break now, but we'll continue on that. You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Our guest is Loraine Matthews, if you've just joined us, and she is a stress management coach. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
And it's interesting, like in like psychology and stress management and all that, a lot of the things actually they talk about, like being thankful, like writing a grateful journal and having... Just a lot of the things also come from the Bible. Like I'll just read something here from the Bible. It says, Colossians 3:12-17, we are to be clothed in heartfelt compassion, to be generous, humble, gentle and patient. We are to bear with one another, forgive each other if one of you has a complaint against another. Over all these clothes put on love, the perfect bond. And always be thankful. And it's just, there's a lot of this is actually used in psychology. I don't know so much about how much they say about forgiveness and stuff, but forgiveness frees you as well. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So what would you like to say about that?
Oh, definitely. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Because I feel when we forgive, and one of the things that I tend to do on a daily basis is forgiveness. For myself and for others, that sometimes, you know, there might have been a judgment I might have passed or whatever. And just even releasing that and letting it go, it is so freeing. And when we forgive, our bodies also shift because we don't have to carry the anger, the hate, the resentment in our bodies. We can release it and let it go. And
that's beautifully said. Yeah.
And it's coming back to what I was sharing with you a little earlier about the client whose body was in agony. Yeah. And as she started to forgive, little by little, the pain ceased. And she was able to, her medication changed. They were able to do different things, and she was able to walk, she was able to move, because there was so much anger, hurt, resentment that was built up. And she didn't even know it was there. Yeah. And some of it had come from as a little child.
Wouldn't you say she was able to move? Wasn't she able to move before?
She was moving, but in a lot of pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't able to, for example, sit down and get out of her chair. And she wasn't old. She was only in her late 40s.
Yeah.
So she wasn't old.
Yeah, no.
And just holding on. She didn't even know that was locked in her body.
Yeah.
So being able to shift that
That's
from her body
beautiful.
made a difference.
And it says also always be thankful. Like
Yes.
if we are, rather than focusing on the negative, be thankful of what we've got. I remember I used to go to this health farm, and that wasn't religious at all, but they used to run it, and they used to say prayers before. But they used to say prayers to, I don't know, the Creator and Mother Earth. It was like that. They sort of hold hands and they say, but they would say thank you for everything before they ate. But they would thank everything from the morning till lunchtime, what happened. And then from lunchtime to dinner, when dinner's time, you know, they'd thank. I thought, gee, this is such a beautiful way to be.
Yes.
You're just thanking and thanking.
Absolutely. And even I think you might have seen, you know, like the scientific studies of water, when you say thank you to the water and how it affects our body.
Yeah.
And just thank you shifts our vibrations, shifts us out of a negative space into feeling lighter, happier, more at peace.
So it literally affects the environment.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't it? Water, it actually they've scientifically proven it changes.
Yes.
It's amazing. And then there's another part that says teach each other and guide each other in all wisdom. So you know, that's another thing we can do as well. We can just, when we, like you've just done, you've just learnt through all your hard times the wisdom, and now you're guiding the others through it. I think that's magnificent. So you've gone through it, so they can relate to you, people can relate to you, and they can say, oh, okay, she's been through it, she knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's the best help.
And it makes a difference too, because you can always tell when someone hasn't gone through it, because they're thinking like, okay.
Yeah.
Because when you've gone through it, you know the struggles, the challenges, and how sometimes it's very difficult to even stay focused on being grateful. Yeah. But knowing that just by shifting a little bit, you feel so much better. And it could be just doing one little thing. It could be, say, for example, you have housework and you think, I can't be bothered. And you go, okay, what's the tiniest little thing that I can do? And then the minute you get up and start doing that, you think, oh, I can do the next little job and the next one. And before you know it, you're feeling better because there's movement. When there's movement, we're always moving forward. And, you know, there's a Buddhist thing where it says, you know, nothing is permanent. Because everything is impermanent.
Exactly.
Everything changes. You know, and when we are able to be in the flow of life, we're able to embrace, we're able to bring in and accept what's not working in that moment. What we might perceive as not working, but from a bigger picture, we can look at from a creator's perspective, it's all perfect. And I know someone's going to say, how can you say the things that are really not working right now is perfect? Because in the bigger picture, it is all perfect. Because when we look back, and we look back with gratitude, we go, wow, because of that, what happened back then has given the wisdom to now. I mean, like perfect example, what you were saying, the wisdom that I gained from everything. I would not change a second. Because it's been, challenging, but at the same time so enlightening. You know, because it's that hope, it's being able to see again the presence of love in everything.
That's beautiful. So it's like all the darkness and the bad things you went through isn't just in vain, and it isn't just for the sake of, you know, letting... I remember this priest, when I had my accident, he came into the hospital and he said to me, he was from the Vatican actually too, and he said to me, you can have suffering, but if you're just in your suffering, you're just in hell. But if you love in your suffering, you can transform the suffering into gold, like rich gold. Like, imagine that, like you can just transform everything around you if you love in suffering. Because you're suffering, but that love is so much more powerful when you love through it. Because it's costing you. Blood, sweat and tears. That's why it's so important to love, because it's love. It's good to love when you're not suffering. It's good to love when you are suffering. It's just such a powerful force. And
love transcends the physical love, wanting someone to love you in a certain way. Love is far greater, and it transcends all religions. It transcends everything, because the essence of our being is love.
And everyone and every animal can relate to it.
Yeah.
And every living thing.
Absolutely. And love is all there is, really, when we think of it, because love changes everything.
There's a few songs there, I've heard. We've got to go to a break now. You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Loraine Matthews, who is a stress management coach. Welcome back to the program, Loraine.
Thanks, Mirella.
Can you tell us a little bit also about the way you run workshops? Because we were talking a little bit off camera about some of the things you do, like laughter, relaxation. And I've heard a lot about laughter being so powerful. Just let us know what you've got to say on it.
Oh, laughter is the best medicine. And it's really true, because when you laugh, you're also shifting how you feel. So it's great. So if someone's feeling really down and they start to laugh, they definitely, or watch, good movies that really makes them laugh, it shifts the state of being. So you can move out of feeling really down and melancholy to suddenly going, feeling uplifted, being able to do something different. And laughter really helps, and I use a lot of laughter in my work, being able to get even people to feel what's happening in them. And then we'll do something funny to get them to laugh about it. And so they can actually go, oh my gosh, that's really, they can take something and look at it and go like, oh, you're really serious? It's nothing. So to be able to laugh at it and recognize how just even laughing just helps to ease the pain.
Yeah, it's like a relaxant, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've heard of, do you run workshops, like laughter workshops as well? Do
yes,
you?
I do. Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I do run laughter workshops.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I saw a segment on one of the morning shows and they did it like a little story on this man from India, I think, and then he lived in America and he was running laughter workshops and they filmed all the people and it was hilarious, but it was brilliant.
Yes.
And he said he used to laugh even in different times in his life, wherever he was, like throughout the day, like on a train.
Yeah.
And she said, well, how do you laugh on a train? And he goes, oh, I do the pigeon laugh. And he was practicing, showing all these crazy laughs. But he was brilliant. It was just brilliant. I'm 100% for all that. So tell us about the laughter workshops.
Well, the laughter workshops is basically getting people to relax and have fun and laugh at the silliest things. It's like, just even laughing at, you've got a bill and you can just rip it up. I mean, just laughing at how simple it is.
Yeah.
And laughing to recognize that at the end of the day, you can pay it. But just being able to laugh through it, if that makes sense. I don't know, I might not explain it as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. We used to, as a child, I used to always play these games. Well, we used to just play the laughing game. And we would just, my friend and I from primary school, she would laugh and I would laugh. And we just have to laugh to get each other laughing. We go, and then we wouldn't stop. And we'd go, my mum would go, stop it. We'd just go cry. You couldn't stop laughing. And even with my own child as well, I do this sort of game where we take jokes and pretend to say funny things and we laugh at each other's jokes really, really loud. And then it ends up really coming out with good jokes. We both do. So it's a good method.
And we even do, like, as you were saying, just the silent laughter. So we just do the
oh, you do.
And you then get everyone suddenly starts to laugh.
Yeah.
So
it's so healthy. And how do they feel by the end of the class?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely love.
Because it lifts the spirits, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And that's when we do the laughter. We also do the meditation. The meditation's a relaxation of connecting at a deeper level.
Yeah.
So it's not just about wanting to know if you're doing it right, but just allowing your soul to just relax and embrace.
And it's also beautiful to watch people laugh, like really laugh from the heart.
Yes.
Not like a cynical laugh or something nasty or anything, but really laughing with a joyous heart. You know, it's just beautiful to see that in people.
Yes.
Even like when you watch comedy shows and you see the audience laughing and they're really laughing, really from the heart, if it's something decent.
I think laughter is very contagious. So once you start laughing, you can't stop.
Yeah.
And people, I know sometimes I've been in a restaurant and I'll just maybe crack up laughing. It could be something. And everyone's going like, wow, that's so contagious. And they're all starting to laugh. And it's just having, I think it's just coming from, as you said, from the heart.
Yeah.
It's not a fake laughter.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
you know, because I must admit, there was
That's the
sometimes I've been in a laughter and I'm like, oh, that's so fake. You know, they say, fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
but sometimes it doesn't, that's not coming from at a core soul level.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're really laughing at the core of your soul, it's so different.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
and
gorgeous.
very, you know, you actually feel lighter, you feel better.
Yeah.
And you shift very quickly out of situations. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I think funny people that make people laugh have got such a gift as well. It's a really beautiful talent to have. There's a lot of people out there who really are funny, like in TV as well. They're really funny. Yeah.
And I think the good thing with laughter too is that you don't have to be a comedian.
No.
I'm definitely not a comedian, but I can have a good laugh.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I love laughing. Yeah. And quite often people have said to me, we should bottle your laughter.
Oh, so beautiful. I know you do have a good laugh. I heard the first time I spoke to you on the phone, I think, oh, that's beautiful. No, it is. It's so important to laugh, and it makes other people happy as well.
Yes.
It's not like the world's not all doom and gloom, you know.
No.
We've got to laugh. We've got to live. We've got our lives to live. You know, let's live it to the full.
Yes.
You know, in love and happiness and laughter and, you know.
Very true.
In all healthy things, you know. Health brings laughter. You know.
Yes.
Health brings life and energy. And, lots of good things. Just looking over there at Nina, trying to make me laugh off camera. So also, I was going to say something from the Bible. It says, I say to you who are listening, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who treat you badly. Isn't that interesting? It's like just to do all of that. It's like, because people are always like wanting a vengeance and revenge and all this kind of thing, but it doesn't work. It doesn't pay off in the long run, does it?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And when we bless people every day, it's amazing what happens.
Yeah.
We feel better.
Yeah.
You know, and when we can see good in each and every one, just seeing beyond, recognizing the bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You know,
and our rewards will be greater in heaven. Like if we just give, we don't have to say, oh, I'm only giving you this because you're going to give it back to me. But if you give sometimes freely without expecting anything back, the look on people's faces is like they're so shocked that anyone would just give them something, you know, for nothing, you know, without expecting back. And that's how we're meant to live, because we'll get it all back in the end. Yes. And that's how we spread love, you know. Yeah. Keep the cogs of the wheels going. Everybody's got to do their part, lift their cog in love, and we'll soon have a really happy world. And also to something very simple to give away each and every day is a smile. It costs us nothing. Yeah. And when we give a smile to people, you know, sometimes they'll be looking down and then they go, oh, someone smiled at me. At first they're hesitant, but when you smile, you're able to connect to their soul, and they've gone, oh, someone smiled. That's beautiful. Thanks so much for coming on the program. You've been watching Nat Chat. I hope you enjoyed the program. I'm Mirella Rich, and our guest was Loraine Matthews. See you again soon.